Money touches every part of life. It shapes choices, tests patience, and whispers doubts into the quietest moments. Many overlook a truth hidden in plain sight. God sees every corner of your existence, including finances. This is not about luck or chance. It is about divine alignment, a current of unseen power that flows when the heart opens in prayer. Prayer carries weight far beyond calm thoughts or fleeting comfort. It can unlock provision, guidance, and opportunities that the world cannot offer. Yet, most approach it lightly, as though words alone carry the power. The reality is deeper. Spoken with intention, prayer stirs forces that shift circumstances, reveal paths, and invite abundance into life. Today, a secret lies within reach, a prayer that can open doors swiftly, if spoken with faith and clarity. On January 8, a moment awaits where connection with the divine can spark immediate change. This is not superstition. It is a spiritual rhythm, a principle long known to those who understand the subtle currents of divine favor. By staying until the end of this video, viewers will learn the exact words, the mindset, and the alignment needed to invite this flow of provision. Lesser-known truths about timing, faith, and focus will be revealed. This knowledge can shift financial pressure into peace and scarcity into possibility. Greetings, seekers of balance and power. I am Shi Heng Yi, and this channel, Shaolin Divine Flow, exists to illuminate paths hidden from ordinary sight. Here, wisdom meets practice, and spiritual insight merges with life's pressing realities. Subscribe to join a community that moves beyond surface-level understanding, embracing the depth of divine guidance. Stay close and prepare to encounter a principle that may quietly transform how abundance arrives in your life. Struggle with money presses heavily on the chest, stealing calm from the mind and rest from the night. Each worry becomes a weight, each calculation a shadow that dims the spirit. Many carry this burden alone, believing it belongs to them, as though life demands endless effort to fill an empty pocket. Yet, a deeper path exists, one that shifts the strain from human shoulders to divine hands. Prayer is not merely words spoken softly in private. It is a bridge, a current of connection that carries fears, doubts, and needs straight to the heart of God. When approached with intention, it transforms the way money touches life. Anxiety loosens its grip. Clarity emerges. Decisions no longer feel like blind leaps, but steps guided by unseen wisdom. Financial prayer matters because it rewrites the story within the mind. Scarcity whispers lies. There is never enough. You must fight alone. Prayer answers differently. You are seen. Help is near. Provision flows when faith leads. The act of speaking, surrendering, and trusting opens channels that logic alone cannot reach. Stress begins to unravel, replaced by a quiet assurance that surpasses understanding. Even small, consistent prayer shapes patterns in daily life. It shifts attention from fear to focus, from panic to planning. The heart remembers that it is not the struggle that defines existence, but the connection maintained above it. Money becomes a tool, not a tyrant. Sleep returns with gentleness. Decisions come with confidence. This is the hidden strength of financial prayer. It is more than wishful thinking. It is an alignment of spirit with source, a quiet revolution in the way life unfolds. Through it, burdens once carried alone are lifted. Opportunities once invisible are revealed. Paths that seemed blocked begin to clear. In the presence of prayer, the chaos of financial pressure softens, and the heart begins to recognize a rhythm of trust, guidance, and provision. Provision arrives in ways that often go unnoticed, hidden in moments of clarity, in opportunities that seem small but carry great weight. The Bible speaks with certainty. God will supply every need, not according to human measure, but according to His infinite wisdom and abundance. This promise is not distant or abstract. It is immediate, alive, and available to those who seek with sincerity. Faith becomes the lens through which provision appears. Money, resources, guidance, they are all instruments in a greater plan, flowing when hearts align with purpose rather than panic. God does not simply hand out blessings without intention. Wisdom accompanies provision, teaching how to steward, how to multiply, and how to use every gift for life that matters. It is a rhythm of balance, trust and action, surrender and responsibility, prayer and movement. When a need arises, it is not only about the amount or timing, it is about the path God shapes to meet that need. Open eyes see doors previously hidden. Opportunities emerge where walls once stood. Financial challenges transform into lessons, preparing the mind to recognize abundance in unexpected places. Provision is never random. It is deliberate, tailored to guide, protect, and elevate. This divine flow is not limited to emergencies or crises. It exists in daily life, in moments of quiet reflection, in decisions made with patience, in choices guided by faith. The heart learns to listen, discerning between fear-driven impulses and spirit-led opportunities. Understanding grows that provision is as much about wisdom as it is about wealth, as much about direction as it is about reward. Through prayer, trust, and attention, God's promise reveals itself repeatedly. The mind becomes lighter. Opportunities become clearer. Decisions become sharper. Fear diminishes, replaced by confidence in guidance that surpasses human understanding. Every step taken in alignment with this promise becomes a path towards stability, clarity, and unseen abundance, inviting the faithful into a life shaped by insight, balance, and divine favor. The start of a new year carries a quiet power, a space where beginnings feel sharp, clear, and full of possibility. January 8, in particular, can become a moment of intentional reset, not through luck or superstition, but through focused alignment with God's guidance. It is a time to step back from old patterns, to release habits that no longer serve, and to invite divine direction into every area of life, especially finances. Intentional prayer transforms this moment into more than a calendar date. It becomes a declaration, a recognition that God's favor is not distant but present, ready to shape choices, open doors, and clarify the path forward. By speaking with intention, the heart signals readiness to receive, the mind aligns with wisdom, and actions begin to follow unseen currents of opportunity. This reset is not about wishing for money or quick fixes. It is about establishing clarity, focus, and trust. Asking God to set financial direction opens the way for discernment, helping to recognize decisions that lead to growth and avoid distractions that drain energy and resources. Each prayer spoken becomes a marker of faith, a rhythm that draws life into balance, and a compass pointing toward provision aligned with purpose. The energy of early January carries a subtle momentum. Thought patterns formed here ripple across months ahead. A heart anchored in gratitude and faith will notice opportunities invisible to worry-driven eyes. Doors that once felt closed begin to shift. Challenges take on the character of lessons, offering guidance rather than frustration. By embracing this spiritual reset, the mind, heart, and spirit align with a higher current. Fear loses grip. Anxiety softens. Clarity emerges in choices, timing, and priorities. In this space, prayer becomes more than words. It becomes a catalyst, a gentle force that positions life to receive guidance, provision, and wisdom in the year ahead. Trust deepens, attention sharpens, and readiness awakens to the possibilities quietly unfolding before those who align with this divine rhythm. Before any prayer begins, the heart must find its posture. Gratitude softens the edges of worry, creating space for clarity to enter. Surrender releases the illusion of control, acknowledging that life's outcomes are guided by a hand far wiser than our own. Trust shapes every thought, aligning the spirit with the rhythm of divine timing. These three, gratitude, surrender, and trust, are not empty words. They are the foundation upon which every meaningful prayer rests. Gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to abundance. It invites the mind to recognize blessings often overlooked: a roof over the head, a meal on the table, the presence of friends and family. This simple recognition quiets fear, replacing it with awareness that life already carries provision. When prayer begins from this place, it speaks not from desperation, but from acknowledgement of what already exists, opening channels for more to flow. Surrender is the willingness to release rigid expectations. It does not mean inaction. It does not mean resignation. It means letting go of the need to force results and trusting that God sees the whole picture. In surrender, the heart stops struggling against currents beyond its reach and instead learns to move with the tide of unseen guidance. Trust transforms every word spoken in prayer into a statement of faith rather than a request filled with doubt. It declares that even when circumstances seem uncertain, divine wisdom is orchestrating steps that lead to provision. Trust allows patience to take root, giving the spirit strength to wait for timing that aligns with purpose. Preparing the heart in this way creates more than peace, it creates receptivity. It opens awareness to opportunities that might otherwise pass unnoticed. It strengthens insight, sharpens discernment, and enhances clarity in action. Each prayer spoken from this posture carries a weight and potency that ordinary words cannot achieve. The heart aligned with gratitude, surrender, and trust becomes fertile ground where provision, guidance, and possibility can take root and flourish. Words whispered from the heart carry power far beyond their sound. Prayer does not need to be long, elaborate, or perfectly phrased. It needs sincerity. It needs focus. It needs a heart willing to open fully to the presence of God. A simple prayer, spoken quietly, becomes a channel through which guidance, provision, and peace flow. Begin by centering the mind, breathing deeply, and letting the awareness of God's presence settle over every thought. Feel the tension of worry ease and allow the heart to speak honestly. The words themselves are less important than the intention behind them. A prayer like this can be spoken softly, repeated in thought, or personalized in your own voice. Lord, I thank you for every blessing you have already placed in my life. I bring before you my financial needs and my desire for clarity in managing what I have. Guide my decisions, open doors that align with your will, and provide the wisdom to use every resource for good. Grant me patience, peace, and understanding. Let your provision flow in ways I may not yet see, and help me to recognize opportunities you place before me. Amen. These words, simple as they are, invite a shift in energy. They acknowledge gratitude for what exists. They surrender control to divine wisdom, and they declare trust in God's timing and guidance. Speaking this quietly focuses the mind, calms the heart, and reinforces alignment with purpose. The power of this prayer lies not in volume, but in authenticity. Each repetition strengthens connection. Each moment of stillness deepens trust. Even when spoken alone, it creates resonance within the soul, drawing clarity where confusion once lingered, opening doors where walls seemed fixed, and inviting opportunities that may have been invisible before. Through quiet, deliberate prayer, provision begins to move subtly but decisively, aligning life with guidance, wisdom, and the unseen currents of abundance. Fear whispers constantly, convincing the mind that lack is inevitable, that circumstances are fixed, and that hope is fragile. Faith, however, speaks a different language. It does not deny reality, but it refuses to be ruled by it. Every word of belief becomes a force that shifts energy, opens doors, and creates space for change that reason alone cannot achieve. Declaring faith over fear begins with intention. Speak boldly in your heart, even if the voice trembles. Let confidence flow from trust in God's wisdom, not from certainty of outcome. Each prayer becomes a declaration. Fear does not govern this life. Divine guidance leads. Opportunities exist beyond what the eyes see. Challenges are not walls but thresholds for growth. Faith does not manipulate God. It aligns the heart with what is possible, opening awareness to solutions that might otherwise remain unseen. It is the quiet assurance that provision can come, even when circumstances appear impossible. Fear shrinks vision, while faith expands it, inviting divine intervention into the everyday, the overlooked, and the delayed. Speak aloud or within your heart. I trust your timing. I follow your guidance. I release worry and choose to believe in your provision. These words carry momentum, reshaping thought patterns that once reinforced limitation. Every repetition strengthens conviction. Every breath taken in faith fortifies trust, and every moment devoted to belief creates a current that draws life toward alignment with God's will. Faith is not passive. It calls for readiness, discernment, and movement when opportunity arises. It transforms anxiety into courage, hesitation into action, and doubt into clarity. As the heart declares faith over fear, the unseen begins to move in response. Doors that seemed closed sway open. Paths once hidden reveal themselves. Peace replaces panic, and the mind, once tethered by worry, begins to navigate life guided by a force far greater than circumstance. In this space, prayer becomes active, living, and transformative, shaping not only outcomes but the very way life is experienced. Prayer is an invitation, a reaching out to God's power, but it is not a substitute for action. It calls the divine into the heart of life, yet it asks for human responsibility in return. God moves, but movement requires readiness. Guidance arrives, but wisdom must shape the steps that follow. Provision flows, but stewardship determines its impact. Every prayer spoken opens channels, yet life's currents continue to demand discernment. Resources, opportunities, and insight may appear, but they carry weight. Decisions must be made with care. Plans must be executed with thoughtfulness. Faith does not remove responsibility, it illuminates it. Acting wisely is part of the prayer itself. Recognizing when to step forward, when to pause, when to invest energy, these are the ways humans participate in the divine flow. Openness to God's plan transforms impatience into acceptance. The heart learns to distinguish between desire and direction, between hope shaped by ego and hope guided by purpose. Prayer tunes awareness to subtle signs, intuitive nudges, and doors that might otherwise go unnoticed. It asks for patience, not resignation, and discernment, not blind expectation. Every blessing given carries the opportunity for stewardship. Money, time, skills, and influence become instruments, not merely rewards. The responsibility is to nurture, to manage, and to act in alignment with divine guidance. Prayer without action can drift like a leaf on a river, but prayer combined with wisdom moves with intention, shaping outcomes that reflect both divine provision and human care. In this dynamic, faith and action exist as partners. God provides the currents, the wisdom, the openings. Human effort navigates, shapes, and amplifies them. The unseen and the tangible meet, creating momentum that transforms possibility into reality. Prayer becomes a living conversation, not a request for convenience, but a call to partnership, a union of guidance, wisdom, and purposeful action that invites life to unfold with clarity, balance, and divine alignment. The journey of faith is rarely instant. Blessings often unfold in layers, and answers may arrive in ways that feel subtle or delayed. Patience becomes a quiet teacher, guiding the heart to trust rhythms beyond human comprehension. Every prayer, every moment of surrender adds to a current that eventually carries life toward clarity, provision, and alignment. Consistent prayer strengthens the spirit. It is not measured by length or eloquence, but by the sincerity and persistence behind it. Each repetition builds trust. Each moment of quiet intention deepens connection, and each surrender of worry allows unseen forces to work. Life begins to shift, often in ways that were invisible at the start, revealing that timing is as vital as the words themselves. Faith grows not in convenience, but in the intervals between desire and fulfillment. In these spaces, the mind learns to release control. The heart learns to wait without fear, and the spirit begins to perceive guidance that was always present but previously unnoticed. Trusting the process means acknowledging that divine timing surpasses human expectation, that provision often arrives in forms unimagined, and that every step taken in alignment prepares the way for greater clarity. Even when results are slow or when circumstances appear unchanged, persistence in prayer shapes perception, refines understanding, and cultivates resilience. The act of returning again and again anchors the mind in certainty rather than doubt, and shapes an inner rhythm that resonates with abundance and possibility. Through this trust, the heart learns patience without surrendering hope. The mind recognizes opportunity hidden within delay, and the soul becomes steady in the face of uncertainty. The process itself becomes a teacher, a rhythm that molds character, sharpens discernment, and opens doors quietly, steadily, and with purpose. Prayer, repeated with faith, transforms waiting into preparation, hesitation into insight, and uncertainty into a steady confidence that life is unfolding exactly as it should, guided by unseen hands and divine wisdom. Prayer is not a tool to bend God to our desires. It is a bridge that aligns the heart with His will, a gentle invitation for His guidance, provision, and blessing to flow into every corner of life. When spoken with sincerity, faith, and trust, prayer opens doors that logic cannot reach, fills spaces that worry empties, and creates a rhythm of peace and abundance within the soul. As you embrace this practice, remember that each prayer, each moment of surrender, each declaration of faith is a step toward alignment with a higher purpose. Provision is not simply given, it is received, recognized, and stewarded with wisdom, patience, and trust. Let your heart remain open, your mind focused, and your spirit steady, knowing that divine guidance is ever present, shaping your path in ways beyond your immediate understanding. If this video spoke to your heart, support the channel. Like the video. Subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow for more guidance, insight, and inspiration that moves life forward. Share this message with those who may need to hear it. Sometimes a single prayer can shift an entire life. Step into this moment with courage and faith. Speak, trust, and act with intention, and watch as life begins to align in ways that feel impossible but are quietly unfolding. Remember, the blessing is not in the words alone. It is in the alignment of your heart with His will, and in the steady trust that divine favor moves where you cannot yet see. Your life is ready to receive, and this is only the beginning.